How to deal with a candidate who refuses to share his salary expectation. The first step is to try to understand why he doesn't want to, rather than trying to convince him to do so. Because the main reason for a candidate to be reluctant to share that information with you is because they fear that you will use that information against them. That, for example, a higher salary was possible, but that because the company is aware that they are okay for less, the company will just align on the expectation to save money. And maybe the candidate had bad experiences in the past, being tricked, manipulated, or lack of transparency. And if that is the case, listen and reassure him. And here is my first and preferred way to handle that objection, which is basically help me to help you. So here is what I say to my candidate. Mr. Candidate, I understand that was an unpleasant experience, and unfortunately, I'm aware that this happens sometimes. But I can guarantee you that it is not in my intent, no way of working. And actually, we are in this together, and I can only win if you win. It is only with this information that I can best represent you and defend your interests that in the end will also benefit me, because the more you make money, the more I make money. Or an alternative, the better the offer is, the more likely you will accept it. So it is clearly a win-win situation here. I have no interest using that information against you. On the contrary, I have a vested interest in using this information to serve you. Help me so I can help you. What do you think? And it is a great way to reassure the candidate and show him that we're in this together and that there is no conflict of interest here. And if you like that first tip already, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. My second way to handle this objection is to explain my candidate that I don't want to waste their time. So here is what I would say. I understand, Mr. the Candidate, but on our side, we only ask for that information because we don't want to waste your time proposing roles and opportunities that don't match your salary expectations. Our role and added value is to filter and only come with the best opportunities for you after a thorough screening. A third way to handle that objection is to give your candidate more insight so he can understand why this information is actually needed in the process. So for example, I will say, I understand, Mr. the Candidate, but we cannot send your profile to the client without that information. They won't even know if they can afford you. Number 4, give them a number. So let's say that your candidate refuses to share his salary expectation. You ask for a bracket, for a range, and he says that, well, it will depend on many factors and that he cannot answer that question and that money is not the main factor. In that situation, I usually come up with an unrealistic number and I challenge my candidate. For example, I will say, okay, well, I understand. What about you have an opportunity at 3K gross, for example, knowing that 5K is the standard in the market, but it matches all of your other expectations. Would you consider it? And because it is way below the market standard, probably the candidate will say, no, that's way too low. And then I can ask, okay, what would be the minimum for you to consider the role then? Number 5. Advice. Use your market knowledge. Use your market knowledge to evaluate how much a candidate could or should expect in the current market conditions and advise him. Ask him what he thinks and challenge his answer. And if your candidate is very good, very qualified for the job, and you fear that he will be above the budget and he doesn't want to share his salary expectations, then I would suggest you and really invite you to share your client's budget. Be open about it. He will appreciate it, you will build trust, and he will feel much more comfortable being transparent with you. And you know, this objection, I don't want to share my salary expectation, and the objection, I'm not interested or I'm not looking at the moment, are the two main objections I see recruiters struggling with. So if you don't know how to manage the second objection, I'm not interested or I'm not looking, and you didn't watch, I really suggest you to watch this video next. Thanks for watching and subscribe to the channel.